I've had some pretty serious accusations come from that side of the aisle today, accusing us of being cruel, hateful, and in the last speech, that we're on the side of selfishness. I want the people of Wisconsin to understand, because here's the thing. Overall, the people of Wisconsin support these policies. People of America support these policies. It is a just on its face common sense. Now, obviously, there's going to be disagreements on any policy. We could propose anything, and there will be groups that disagree with this, Mr. Speaker, no matter what policies we propose. But overwhelmingly, these types of policies are supported by the people we represent. So when these accusations come from the other side of the aisle, saying that these policies are cruel, that we are hateful, that we're selfish, I want the people of Wisconsin to understand that the Democrat representatives are calling you, the people of Wisconsin, cruel and hateful and selfish for proposing common sense policies like this. You know, I don't know that I'm as eloquent as some of the other people on the other side of the aisle on this issue, but I would like, and if with your permission, I'd like to quote from a written document.
Without objection.
They talk about that this is not causing any issues in any part of our state. Well, this was just in the news just couple of months ago, Mr. Speaker, up in the city of Green Bay, the Green Bay School District. And I was unfortunate that somehow the voices of those students are being ignored by that side of the aisle. But to quote one of the concerned parents in what was going on in the Green Bay School District, they said, the girls are fed up hearing that safety is referring to the school, is their top concern from all of these people, and they're really doing nothing about it. Because these girls were going to be pulled from school sports because they were being injured, because they were being exposed to, because they were in locker rooms where they would be exposed to male genitalia, which I don't think is necessarily the best thing to be exposing to young women. I thought that was common sense here in a civilized society that shouldn't be going on, and yet those voices are not heard by that side of the aisle. They're being told to be quiet, that they're wrong, that they're hateful, cruel, and selfish. But let's talk about team building here for a second, because somehow the last speaker was referring that somehow by passing these kind of policies, acknowledging that there are physiological, biological differences between men and women, girls and boys, that somehow breaks down a team. Well, one of the greatest teams, not only in America but in the world, is the United States military. And they acknowledge the biological differences between men and women and what they can achieve. And I would actually note that also boys and girls, because if you look at the physical fitness test that I had to go through when I was in the military, and many other members of this body have had to go through, let's just look at just one part of it. Now, there's certainly some aspects where, men and women on the whole can compete on an equal footing, depending on what it is. But let's just look at the push-up standard. You realize at 42 push-ups, so for those who don't know, Mr. Speaker, in order to pass the Army physical fitness test, you had to get 180 points, 60 points in each of 3 different events. You had to get 60 points. At 42 push-ups as a 17, 18, 19, 20, or I think 21-year-old, if you got 42 push-ups as a male, you got 60 points. The bare minimum. The bare minimum. If you got more push-ups, you get a higher score. Girls and young ladies that would do push-ups, at 42 repetitions, they would max out the test. They would get 100 points in that event. Is that somehow hateful? Is that somehow cruel? Is that somehow selfish to acknowledge that, in fact, there are physiological differences? This is common sense. The people of Wisconsin know this is common sense. That's why they support these kinds of policies. And we will continue to support these kind of policies and try to protect our young ladies from woke policies that are being pushed for no other reason than an agenda.